Origins was touted as a new take on the open-world formula. Releasing in 2017, the game had embraced the Witcher 3-like action RPG gameplay and mechanics. However, with repeated focus on large and often empty open worlds, games like Origins and Odyssey found themselves to be delivering bland gameplay experiences in the long run. Don't get me wrong, Assassin's Creed Mirage will still be very much a big deal for many people. Look no further than Origins and Odyssey, which made tons in revenue a few years ago. However, much of the game's mechanics felt like it had diminished over time. Maybe it was because the games had become bigger, evolving from smaller mechanics into pieces of a never-ending bland gameplay, or platforms for live service with new modes and microtransactions. Maybe it was that the assassin in Origins and Odyssey no longer really applied. It became more of a name than an identity. Instead of focusing on stealth and providing engaging gameplay mechanics, the products diverted a bit too much. Thankfully, the developer is making stealth and linear-focused approach a priority with Mirage. Many things will look unfamiliar to contemporary fans. It costs $50 and doesn't feature an overwhelmingly large map with multiple regions to explore. There are no loot boxes, and it's about 15 to 20 hours, with playtests estimating about 25 to 30 hours for a completionist run. Most importantly, there are no plans for DLC or extensive post-launch support per the developer. Even if it's the story of Basim Ibn Ishaq, Mirage aims to tell a complete story, even if it makes up an overall larger narrative. To say that all of this is a breath of fresh air would be an understatement. It's not because we don't appreciate big games that provide dozens of hours of entertainment, but games like Origins and Odyssey, and the developer in general, was becoming dangerously bloated. An experience like Mirage that can be completed over a week, emphasizing quality over quantity, is appreciated. None of that would mean anything if the gameplay wasn't something you wanted to experience. For stealth fans, Mirage is a return to what made the series tick. Set in 9th century Baghdad with 4 districts to explore, a throwback to older stealth games which focused on a single, dense location, you follow Basim from his beginnings as a street thief to becoming a member of the Hidden Ones. Combat is close quarters, but it's less over-the-top and smash-mouth than Origins or Odyssey. Stealth is still very much the play here, especially when completing objectives. When completing a mission, you're not just beelining it to the target and killing everything in your path. First, you need to gather information about them, completing different tasks and gathering clues before zeroing in on their locations. Being an assassin also means not being able to soak up a lot of damage. Crazy, I know. And while parrying attacks and countering with killing blows is an option, it's best not to let enemies overwhelm you. Sneaking and investigating the area for opportunities is the key to success. Blend into crowds, pickpocket enemies, throw smoke bombs and swoop in for kills. The choice is yours. Thanks to the new assassin focus, you can take down several enemies immediately, but only if you remain undetected, somewhat similar to the mark and execute feature from Splinter Cell Conviction back in the day. It requires kills to recharge, further incentivizing stealth. Combat, as in the older games, is an alternative means to defend yourself, but it's thankfully not the main gameplay loop. It's also nice being able to hire different groups for unique purposes, like mercenaries who can fight alongside you, or musicians who create distractions. Parkour also makes a grand return, with Basim nimbly moving across the city's rooftops, with new mechanics like poles allowing you to cross larger gaps. Eagle Vision is also here to offer a hand in locating targets, but you also get an Eagle companion, with the added nuance of having to clear anti-air forces so that it can safely scout locations. It isn't to say that open-world content is completely gone. You still run into world events, which provide different rewards, with collectibles, artifacts, optional contracts, and more also available. There's even a notoriety system, which causes the city to come alive in the worst possible way if you commit too many crimes. All of this sounds too good to be true if we hadn't seen extensive gameplay over the past year or so. It's almost crazy how the developer would pay homage to stealth games from the past and offer an intriguing experience when it's spent the past several years embracing loot systems and hack-and-slash combat. One could look at this as part of the company's push for Infinity. Remember that? Its upcoming hub. Granted, Infinity is not launching with Mirage. Its first two games will be codenamed Red, an action RPG, and codenamed Hex, which hasn't been showcased but isn't an RPG. Nevertheless, Mirage could still be viewed as an advertisement for the platform to offer experiences and cater to different kinds of fans. Whatever the case, even with its new gameplay elements, even with all of its new bells and whistles, could ever happen again, especially in a year packed with major releases, is auspicious. A lot is riding on it, especially considering the developer's string of failures, cancelled projects, and generally terrible work practices over the years. It's a chance for the developer to put its best foot forward and show that it understands what makes a good game while building upon their core gameplay. More importantly, it leans into the idea that you don't need massive 100+ hour experiences with endless checklists of tasks in this day and age. Sometimes, a compact and compelling title with fun gameplay is enough. If a modern entry could acknowledge, much less remember the fact, and become successful, then perhaps there's some hope for future installments following suit. In the meantime, it's one of the more important titles of the year for fans, and worth keeping an eye on. So what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.